At 0312 local time, somewhere over central Iran, a warning receiver screamed inside the cockpit of an F-15E Strike Eagle. The pilot had less than 2 seconds to react. The missile was already in the air. The Strike Eagle belonged to the 48th Fighter Wing out of RAF Lakenheath, England, one of the most experienced combat units in the entire United States Air Force. This crew had flown into Iran before. They knew the risks. They had survived 5 weeks of this war, but tonight was different. Something had changed in the air defense picture below. Iran wasn't supposed to have the capability anymore. The Pentagon had said it. CENTCOM had confirmed it. 5 weeks of precision strikes had gutted Iran's radar network, destroyed their surface-to-air batteries, and wiped their skies clean of any credible threat. But Iran had one system left, hidden, camouflaged, waiting. And tonight, it found its target. The F-15E took the hit. Both crew members ejected over hostile territory, and what came next would turn a single shoot-down into one of the most intense rescue operations of the entire war. The mission had started like hundreds before it. The Strike Eagle launched from a forward base under total radio silence, part of a larger strike package pushing into southern Tehran province. The crew, a pilot and a weapons systems officer, had a precise target, a precise route, and a precise window. Think of an F-15E like a flying weapons truck with a brain. It carries precision-guided bombs, long-range missiles, and a sensor suite so advanced it can track multiple threats simultaneously. The crew sits in tandem, pilot up front, WSO in the back, coordinating targeting in real time. It can exceed Mach 2.5. It can fly nap of the Earth at low altitude to avoid radar. It is one of the most combat-proven aircraft ever built. But no aircraft is invisible. Iran's IRGC Aerospace Force had quietly repositioned a mobile air defense battery, possibly a variant of a man-portable or short-range system, into the southern Tehran corridor. Not a sophisticated radar-guided launcher, something simpler, harder to detect from space, harder to track from the air. The missile found the Strike Eagle at medium altitude. The jet took catastrophic damage. Both crew members ejected. The aircraft went down in flames over central Iran, and Iran immediately started hunting. 40 miles away over the Persian Gulf, the command center got the call. The words no one wanted to hear. Bravo down, 2 souls. Location approximate. Inside the Air Operations Center, the duty officer had exactly one priority: get those crew members out before Iran did. The clock was already running. Iran's state television went live within minutes, footage of the wreckage, crowds gathering, a governor offering a cash reward for anyone who could hand over a captured American pilot. Iranian security forces began moving into the crash zone. Iranian media was calling it an F-35. The wreckage told a different story. The tail flash markings of the 48th Fighter Wing were unmistakable. Meanwhile, the command center was already launching the combat search and rescue package. 2 UH-60 Black Hawk helicopters pushed from a forward position near the border. A C-130 Hercules refueling and support aircraft climbed to altitude. Who had an NA-10 Warthog, one of the most lethal close air support platforms ever built, was tasked to fly escort and provide firepower if things went bad on the ground. That decision would cost them. The Black Hawks flew low, very low. Flying low in a combat search and rescue is not a choice. It is a necessity. Low altitude keeps you off radar. Low altitude keeps you in ground clutter, where missiles have trouble tracking. But it also means you're flying slow. Slow means you're exposed. Every small arms gunner on the ground can take a shot. Think of a Black Hawk like an armored taxi moving through a street where everyone is armed. Speed is its only armor, and right now, it couldn't go fast enough. The first Black Hawk located the pilot, alive, evading on the ground. The crew fast roped in, grabbed him, got airborne, and started heading out. Then Iranian gunfire erupted from the tree line. Multiple rounds struck the helicopter. Crew members were hit. But the Black Hawk kept flying, damaged, bleeding personnel aboard. But it climbed out of the valley and pushed for safe airspace. It landed safely. The pilot was alive. But the second crew member, the weapons systems officer, was still missing. The search wasn't over. High above, the A-10 Warthog rolled in over the rescue corridor. The A-10 is a different kind of aircraft. It was built for exactly this: close air support, low and slow, heavily armored around the cockpit, with a 7-barrel 30mm Gatling cannon capable of shredding light armor at range. It's nicknamed the Warthog. It's ugly, it's loud, and Iranian ground forces knew exactly what it meant when they heard its engines overhead. It meant someone on the ground was about to have a very bad day. The Warthog was pushing a wide search pattern, supporting the second rescue attempt, when Iranian air defenses engaged. The pilot took fire near the Strait of Hormuz. The aircraft was hit. The pilot ejected over the Persian Gulf. Now the rescue chain was fracturing. The command center had one F-15 crew still missing inside Iran, a Warthog pilot now floating in the Gulf, and a damaged Black Hawk limping toward a forward base with wounded aboard. 3 separate emergencies simultaneously across 100 miles of hostile territory. This was the real problem. Back at CENTCOM, the response was already in motion. The search for the missing WSO continued. Israeli intelligence shared satellite imagery of the ejection zone. The Israeli strikes in the area were paused to protect the rescue corridors. American drones flooded the search area. Reapers flying high and slow, scanning every road, every valley, every dry riverbed below. Iran knew the Americans were coming. They had urged civilians, through state television, to capture the crew. A reward equivalent to $60,000 had been offered by local merchants. The entire southwestern province was being turned into a manhunt, and that is when the United States made a decision, not a defensive decision, an offensive one. Within hours of the F-15 going down, American B-2 Spirit stealth bombers were already airborne from Whiteman Air Force Base in Missouri. Their targets had been pre-planned. The coordinates were already loaded. This wasn't a reactive strike package. And this was a door being kicked off its hinges. Think of the B-2 like a ghost. It flies at high altitude. Its radar cross-section is smaller than a bird. It carries up to 40,000 pounds of precision-guided munitions. When a B-2 arrives over a target, the target stops existing. The strike hit the remaining IRGC air defense infrastructure in the southwest, mobile launchers, command nodes, logistics depots that had been feeding supplies to the hidden batteries, the hidden system that shot down the F-15. Its support network was gone in under 20 minutes. Simultaneously, Navy F/A-18 Super Hornets launched from the USS Carl Vinson, operating in the Arabian Sea. They hit radar installations along the southern Iranian coast, every site that had shown any activity during the rescue operation, and every frequency that had come alive when the Black Hawks were flying, all of it destroyed. Iran fired back. Drone swarms launched toward Gulf infrastructure. Iranian missiles targeted energy facilities in the UAE. Explosions reported in Abu Dhabi. Oil fires burned on the horizon. But it didn't stop the U.S. response. It accelerated it. Inside the search zone, something shifted. A Reaper drone. One of 16 the U.S. had already lost over Iran during the war, making every surviving aircraft even more valuable, picked up a heat signature. A single human figure, moving, alive, evading south, away from Iranian forces, converging from the north. The WSO was still alive, still moving, still fighting to survive. The decision was made immediately. Send another rescue package. push through whatever Iran had left. The second Black Hawk went in. Lower than the first, faster, with a full escort of armed drones providing overwatch from altitude, ready to engage any ground fire the moment it appeared. Iranian gunmen tried again. This time, the drones responded first. The rescue team reached the WSO. Both crew members were now out of Iran, alive. When the dust cleared over the Persian Gulf, the picture was undeniable. Iran had scored a hit on an American F-15E, but the response had destroyed the system that fired it, degraded what little remained of Iran's mobile air defense network, and demonstrated something critical. The United States could absorb a hit, execute a combat rescue inside hostile territory, and still return fire harder than before, all within hours. The Warthog pilot was pulled from the Gulf. The Black Hawk crew received a medical treatment. Both F-15 crew members were recovered. The hidden Iranian battery that shot them down was gone. Iran had fired its best shot, and the United States answered with everything it had left. If you want to see what happened when USB-2 bombers finally hit Iran's underground nuclear facilities, watch our next video. It's one you will not want to miss.